live in the crib, live in the house. Haven't been here in a long time, y'all. About to wait for y'all to creep on in. I know it's a Sunday. Know y'all out doing your weekend thing. And I haven't been on here in a minute, so y'all creep on in to the spot. What up, what up? Man, you know, I wish my eyes were better and I could see the comments you guys push in there. I can't answer you guys' comments till after. Niggas' eyes is bad. Niggas getting old, yo. What up, what up? Man, it's been a minute. Man, I've been grinding and trying to plan out this, or working to plan out this Know Your Rights workshop. Also, that's what I'm wanting to talk to you guys about as well. I'm gonna get you guys feedback on that. What up? So, just want to say what's up to my Nagas and Naginis. Haven't talked to y'all in a minute. I appreciate y'all dropping in. I wanted to also say, please hit hit the like button. YouTube has this new algorithm where it's about the likes. So as much as you like it, it recommends the video to people who are interested in the same stuff you're interested in. So that's how you get the information out, is by hitting the like button. So subscribers only subscribe if you vibrate with the information I'm putting out. If you don't, keep pushing, you know. But if you're watching this information and you do vibe with it, then you subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button on these videos, because again, this new algorithm they have, the likes are what matters. There's also subscriptions too, but I'm not really tripping about that. But I do want you guys to go and subscribe to the So What Show, because that's only at about 50-something thousand subscribers, and it should be way above that. I see people on here with the dumbest content, and they got 400,000 subscribers. And on the So What channel, he's dropping major shit all throughout the week. You know, on Mondays, the mansions, all of that stuff, and he barely has any subscribers. Now, I know YouTube algorithm is kind of tweaking that, and they're kind of trying to hide that type of content because they don't really want it out there because of what's in there. But you guys have to push to get the subscribers up so that it gets more visible on YouTube. So that's with the likes, and that's with the subscribe. So that's on the So What channel. Now as well on here, it's about the likes, because that, again, that pushes YouTube to recommend the channel to people who like or who are interested in the content you're interested in. So that's the way to get the information out. So just dropping in there with a quick live stream. Just wanted to touch on a few topics. One of them was, I don't know if you guys, there's been a lot of stuff going on actually dealing with the election, the impeachment, reparations. And so I know you guys, if you see my shirt, this is my beautiful shirt. I got this, this is in the store right now. It's F Reparations, Repair Your Nations. And at the bottom it says Native, if I can show y'all that. Whoa. It says Native Amarukan, or Aboriginal Amarukan. So these are in the shop right now. Y'all want to go cop some of these. I'm gonna wear this on the show tomorrow too, so y'all be able to see it then. But yeah, so there's reparations talk. A lot of this, it's tying in with the election information, or the election hype and cycle that's going on. So I'm just trying to make some sense of it, or put out some information so you guys can make some sense of it, because a lot of you guys are hitting me up about this information on reparations here. A lot of stuff going on. I don't want to touch on all of it. You know, a lot of stuff has been going on the internet. Talib Kweli put out some videos. And I'm not really going to touch on that. I would say if you want to go watch those videos, you can go check those out, and then research the information that Talib Kweli was talking about. It pans out very well. But again, my information, I'm not really focused on one person. I'm focused on the total idea of reparations, which is a distraction. See, there's a reason that this whole reparations talk right now is gaining steam. So, you know, you're here, man, this is the, we haven't gained this much steam, or we haven't talked this much about reparations in so long. or we haven't gotten this type of discussion on reparations. The reason that is is because there's an election cycle. That's it. So they'll let you talk. They'll let you go and they'll make it a topic, because as long as it's a topic, you guys are not really pushing for the real thing. Again, reparations is such a complex thing for America, because first of all, America is a corporation. They're not a government. You can go look that up. Delaware Corporation, file number 219-3946. Go look them up. Go to the Delaware State website and go to the Department of Corporations and look up United States of America, Inc. It's right there. So because they're a corporation, remember, corporation has assets and not citizens. So everyone who's considered a citizen in that corporation is actually an asset, your property. So these things convolute the whole reparations thing. How do I give reparations to my property? You are voluntarily giving yourself over to that corporation as property via the 14th Amendment. So how can you come back now and ask for reparations? Which is why they don't really push this talk, because if they do, then they have to get into a whole discussion about the 14th Amendment and what it really is and was it truly ratified, because it wasn't. The 10 states, 10 of the southern states out of the 11 southern states that signed on to it, they got forced into it. So if you know anything about contract law, any contract that you're forced into makes it non-binding. This is just simple contract international law. So that means the 14th Amendment is not an actual, it wasn't legally ratified. So they don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because the 14th Amendment gave the newly found federal government, which became this corporation, it gave them assets, which were masked as citizens, so that they can step on the stage and then do business entity to entity with certain states. It made them an actual viable state, because they were, at first when the federal government was created, they were just a small little, like a bureau would had a 10 square mile radius that they could do business in. Over the time, through something called federal area, they've acquired so much land that it overlaps all of America. And so pretty much all of America is called the federal area, which places them in the jurisdiction. But under that 14th Amendment, this is the thing that that a lot of people are placing their reparations hype on, or a part of it anyway. As far as, you were released as slaves, and you need to get your just due, as far as William Sherman, he promised the 40 acres and a mule. But another thing with that, and I put this in the documentary, if you guys haven't seen the 40 acres and a fool documentary, please go check it out. But when General William Sherman was not legal government. So when he gave that order for 40 acres and a mule, it was military rule. So once the war was over and an actual viable president was back in the seat, military rule, or what they call executive order, or order under military rule, ceased to exist. So that order, it got wiped away. That's not an actual law. That's on the you can't a military person or an officer can't create law. That's not a part of the Constitution. So when he promised 40 acres and a mule, that was straight bullshit. They knew it at the time too, because they knew that eventually the government would go back to having a president in that seat, and that order would be wiped away. So they knew. They were just literally trying to appease the melanated people of that time, so that you guys wouldn't hype up. So so again, what's going on? Again, you can Talib Kweli, he's actually for reparations. Most everybody else is for reparations, but that's because you guys don't truly understand your status. And the thing is, man, I don't got a dog in the fight with none of this shit. Honestly, I'm not pushing some major movement. I don't have a group of guys behind me, an organization, or none of this. Dude, I'm here to pass on this information that the universe has entrusted to me. And I have to give it out to you. But do I care if you use it? Nah. Hell to the nah. Because, again, I've used it. I'm in the great place. I'm in the place where I need to be. If motherfucking shit goes down, I know how to get out of it. You don't. And so again, and my motivation for this can actually be summed up best by that Joey Badass song. And I just kind of heard this within the last couple of weeks. I know it came out probably a couple years ago, but For My People. That's one of the dopest songs I've heard. That song is a real emotional song for me, because if you really feel for your people the way I do, man, you gotta do something about it. I can't sit here and watch you guys getting your asses beat, getting snatched out of police cars, and spouting wrong laws and going to jail because you just didn't know enough not to say anything to the police. I mean, simple stuff are killing y'all. It's over a million brothers in jail. And I promise you, about 70% of them are in jail, but just because they didn't know simple law. That's it. So again, going on with these reparations, you can ask for these reparations. You can get on that board and you can get on the bandwagon and like, yeah, we're gonna get some reparations. They're gonna give us a check. We coming for our check. With my check, Nick. Give my money, Nick. Hey, they're not giving you any money. This is why you have to learn the law and government. See, in school back in the day, they taught something called civics. This is what they taught something called civics. And so civics is the rights, laws, and duties that are attributed to citizens. So, when in school, this taught you what you needed to do in society in order to become a viable member of society. No one is teaching that now. They're not teaching that in school. And that's the reason is because they don't want you to learn what your rights are and how to be able to work the system and manipulate the system, because that's really what it teaches you, how to become a viable part of the system, but how to make it work for you. They want you to just get in there and do what they tell you to do so the system can go where the hell they need it to go. So you're not taught civics anymore. But what civics is basically the rule book to the game. You would not play any game without the rule book. I know most of us do that. We'll hop on a video game and just jump on. We don't read no damn instructions. We'll just play and play and play and die and die and die a million times until we learn the game. You can't do that with this, because when you die for real. So you can't be, you don't got, if you play Mario, you got the extra men when you hit the cheat code. You ain't got a cheat code right here. Ain't no cheat code for this shit. So you got to learn what the cheat code is. You do actually have a cheat code. The cheat code is the law and government. But they're betting on that you not gonna learn this shit. That's what they bet. Like, look, I promise you, these niggas ain't gonna learn this shit. I promise you. Lyndon Johnson, you know how he got all these melanated people to be Democrats? He gave them a public assistance. Back in the 60s, when he became president, he gave them a public assistance program, and he was quoted as saying, "After I give them this program, I'll have these niggas voting Democrat for 200 years." Go look that up, because they know y'all dumb as fuck. Y'all ain't gonna learn no government. Y'all ain't gonna learn no law. Y'all not gonna go. Y'all don't got the time for that shit. Nigga, I'm partying. Nigga, I'm turning up. Nigga, I'm getting lit. Doing 50 million motherfucking things other than learning the rules in the rule book. So again, that would have been civics, but they took that away from you. So it's up to you to do your own due diligence. Otherwise, they don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you the rules to the game. Especially if I'm trying to win. What they got to tell you the rules to the game for? So there was a couple of things I wanted to go over with y'all because it came out about what your true status is and about this reparations thing, and how you need to understand. Again, reparations means to return to one's own land, right? That's the true definition of reparations, right? To repair, to make good, or to remake what was there. You didn't have that. Or you did, but you had it under a different status. Now, as Black and African American, you had nothing. You didn't have anything that was whole for them to repair. So how can you come for reparations? This is legal. I'm not even talking about just philosophically. These are legal terms. This is how it goes down in the law. So how can you come back for reparations when you had nothing to repair? As slaves and African and descendants of slaves and all, you didn't have any of that. However, you do have you are due restitution. Okay, for all the atrocities and the foul acts that that government and the people of that government has committed to melanated people over the course of time. There's a new show out called Watchmen. I don't know if y'all seen that. Watchmen is new show that came out. It's on HBO. I think it actually comes out or comes on tonight on Sundays. So go back and watch from the first show. The very first show, they deal with the Tulsa riot, 1921, the Black Wall Street. That's the very first scene is them firing and bombing Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's off the shit is crazy. It's off the chain. I'm telling y'all, go watch that. So the whole actually storyline goes all the way back to the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots, the Black Wall Street. So what y'all got to understand. So at that time, this is where you were really trying to come into and assimilate into America. And you had like there were like 160 melanated owned banks at that time. Like you had so many businesses, 7,000 businesses all over the world. I mean, you were really mashing out, and they understood that, and they saw that you were growing and that you didn't need them. You were doing it outside of their system. See, this was the thing that made you that made it viable. They pushed you out of their system with the Jim Crow and all the rest of that. So melanated people said, you know what? Well, shit, because we can't do it over there, that forced you to have to work together. They say, oh, well, shit, we'll just make our own shit. They saw that and they were like, oh, hell no. Because you already had the skills. You already had built America. America was yours. It was your land in the first place. So all you had to do, you had the knowledge within. All you had to do was just going to do it again. And they saw that. They were like, shit, they already built this. They'll just do that again. And they'll do it in no time. So they had to tear that down. They had to tear what that was a reconstruction of melanated people, and they had to rip that shit down. And so again, go watch that Watchmen show, because they break that down in there. But again, you're not going to come back and get reparations unless you come back in your actual status. And so I wanted to show you guys or take you guys through a couple of things that came out. So I want to go over Byron Allen was on the Breakfast Club earlier this week, or last week, and he was breaking off some stuff. Byron Allen was really dropping some shit. If you haven't seen that interview, go back and watch the Byron Allen interview. He was really dropping some shit. But he was talking about this court date that he had, the Supreme Court case that he has coming up. Now I'm gonna go over that, but first I wanted to take y'all over. So basically what he did was he sued Comcast, under discrimination against racial discrimination. So it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. He won, and then they took it. Comcast wanted to go all the way to the Supreme Court. So the law that he was using under the discrimination was the Civil Rights Act of 1866, right? And so basically, actually I'll read that one to you just so y'all. So the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Let me read this. So now this is very important, because I'm going to take you back over to the Dred Scott case too, to show you guys how and help you understand that they knew that there was a difference. They understood that there was a difference between Indians, and Indians had their own sovereignty and their own government, and the slaves, or people who took up the status as slaves. So that's very important for you to understand. It wasn't that you had to be a slave, but if you took up the status of slave, then you took on all the laws and everything that came with that. So check this out. This is the Civil Rights Act of 1866. This was the first Civil Rights Act that they implemented in America, right? So this was right after Lincoln or the Emancipation Proclamation, right? So it says, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States, of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power, excluding Indians not taxed, are hereby declared to be citizens of the United States, and such citizens of every race and color, without regard to any previous condition of slavery or involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crimes whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall have the same right in every state and territory in the United States to make and enforce contracts, to sue, be parties, and give evidence to inherit, purchase, lease, sell, hold, and convey real and personal property, and to full and equal benefit of all the laws and proceedings for the security of persons and properties as is enjoyed by white citizens, and shall be subject to like punishment, pains, and penalties, and to none other, any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom to the contrary withstanding. Now, whole lot of legal jargon in there. If you just looked at that, you would think that they basically gave citizenship to anybody in the United States. But again, legalese or legal wording is very important. It is very, very, very goddamn important to understand that you understand the law. And the law, remember, is a language. So when they go in here and they say that all persons born in the United States and not subject to any other foreign power, excluding Indians, not taxed. What that means is anybody who's in the United, and now this is the other thing too. They didn't define what being born in the United States is. That's very vague. So remember the law. If the law is vague, it doesn't stand. You can break that up. You can break that up immediately, which is why they had to go in and they redid this in the 14th Amendment. But as it's stated right now, it's saying that so all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power, excluding Indians not taxed, are hereby declared to be citizens of the United States. What that means is anybody within our boundaries, our jurisdiction. It really means boundaries because they didn't say jurisdiction. It would have said jurisdiction if it meant that. But they understood that just because you're within the United States boundaries doesn't mean you're within their jurisdiction. See, that's a misinterpretation, or that's a falsehood that people think that just because I'm in the boundaries of what the United States territory is, that means I'm in their jurisdiction. That's not so. So basically, it's saying that they knew that Indians within the territory of the United States were a part of another government. And they're saying that these Indians, we declare everybody in this area to be citizens of the United States except the Indians. That's what they're saying. Everybody in here, y'all part of our, we basically, that's taking you up as they bitch, because they declared you a citizen. They didn't ask you if you wanted to be citizens. They just came in and said, we declare everybody around here, y'all belong to us. Y'all are. We got y'all. Y'all ours. They didn't ask if anybody wanted that, but they just declared everybody in that territory citizens. So, except Indians. Indians not taxed. And what that meant was there were certain Indians or Native Americans, Aboriginals, who contracted and worked with the colonies, and they paid taxes and they worked with them and did all of that. And so that made them a lot of those contracts made them subject to some of the colony laws or the federal laws. But they knew everybody wasn't subject to that. And that's why they had to put in there, Indians, you are not. we just can't declare you as our people because this is your land. This is your damn land. But everybody else, you belong to us. So that's the 1866 ruling. And also in that ruling, it didn't give rights. So I want to show you something, this very artful legal terminology right here. And it says, okay. You shall have the same right in every state, territory in the United States to make, purchase, lease, sell, hold, and convey real and personal property, and to the full and equal benefit of all laws, proceedings and, excuse me, let me go over that. And to full benefit, to full and equal benefit of all laws and proceedings for the security of person and property. Now, when it gets to that part, it said that you are entitled to the rights. Very artful term wording right here. It says you have the same right in every state and territory in the United States to make, enforce contracts, sue parties, give evidence, inherit. Now, all of this is dealing with commerce. You have all the rights dealing with commerce. But then it got to when it gets to this part, and then it says, and when it gets to the part, and it stops that. That's where the rights end, where it says, and. Then when it goes to and, it says, and to full and equal benefit of all laws and proceedings to the security of property. So what that means is, yeah, you have all the rights dealing with contracts, and then you have the benefits of securing those rights that deal with the contract. But it didn't say that you have the right. It doesn't. So when it goes down and it says you have all the rights of white citizens, that's not what it's saying. See, this is this is legalese. It's only saying that you have all the rights to contract and you have all the benefits dealing with that, meaning the law, any laws that deal with contracting, you have the full benefit, equal benefit of those using those laws against anyone who's wronged you in contract. Now, when it gets to, again, only benefits, it doesn't have the word rights in there. And most people think when they go back to this 1866 thing that this is where you got melanated people got rights, full equal rights along with the white citizens, and it didn't give you that. As a matter of fact, this law wasn't even enacted in 1866. They signed it into law in April of 1866, but Congress actually, a few members of Congress protested it, so it actually didn't go into effect until all of them ratified it in 1870, which was a couple of years after the 14th Amendment was written. So they were actually they wanted the 14th Amendment. This actually is precursor to the 14th Amendment. So they saw this law, they knew they messed up in there, so they actually went and redid the 14th Amendment and put the correct stuff in there. So again, this is the law though that's up on November 12th. It's at the Supreme Court. This is the law that Byron Allen used to sue Comcast and won. There again, they appealed it, went to the Supreme Court, and now the Supreme Court is deciding if they do away with this, they do away with this law. This is a very important law though, because it does allow you to have equal rights in contracting. If they take away that, then you're equal. They don't have to honor anything. They can not do business with you based on your race, and then for you to prove it, if you wanted to go sue them for racial discrimination, it would take so much evidence. You basically would have to have 100% evidence against them for you to win that case. So that would fuck up everything if they win this case. This is a very actually important case for all the people who are still within the system of America. So this is on November 12th. No, most of you guys don't even know that this case is that this case is actually up for review. And so the next thing was, so there is also something after this act that was called the Indian Citizenship Act. All right. So after they did this, now I want to be clear with this first off too, that when this happened, after they in 1870, when the Reconstruction happened, so you had the first part of the Constitution, which are the Constitution and the first 12 amendments. And then the second part of the Constitution is when they call it the Reconstruction, is when they started Amendment 13, 14, and 15. Now, this was freeing the slaves and giving them rights, making them citizens, and then giving them the right to vote, right, based off the color. Now, what happened after that, after they instituted the 15th Amendment, all these riots and shit started to happen. Like the Ku Klux Klan started to beat people all over the place. And this is where you get the term bulldoze, because they were giving people a bull's dose worth of a beating to discourage them from voting. So at this time, because there were a lot of melanated people who actually occupied government positions, in the South, and most people don't even notice. Like you had so many, it was like 2,000 melanated people in the government at that time. And so in order to get them out of the government, after the Reconstruction happened, they would go around and beat the shit out of niggas. Like they was beating the crap out of, I mean, major massacres that they were doing. And so this discouraged all the melanated people from going to vote in that next election. And then this is how a lot of the Caucasians took back a lot of the South, because they were trying to get more Democrats in the South, because most of you don't know that the Democratic Party was the racist party. Those are the ones who started the Klan. Those were the ones who were fighting in the Civil War. All of that. That was the Democratic Party. The Republicans were the ones who who got the 14th Amendment, who pushed for the 14th Amendment, who pushed for abolition, pushed for slave rights and all that shit. That was the Republicans. They flipped the script on y'all to make y'all think the Republicans is fucked up now. But all of that shit is fucked up. just so we're clear. I ain't advocating for neither one. All of that shit is fucked up. But they did the illusion and got all of you melanated people dancing in the street for some damn Democrats, when you guys don't even know the history that there was actually the Republicans who actually put y'all who put you niggas on the right path. But so with that court with that court decision. So with the Indian Act, after that happened, there was something called the Indian Citizenship Act. So they were trying to bring the Indians into the federal government, right? So because they understood that they had did so much fuckery, they had took so much land from them, and they had all these different treaties. They had 377 treaties with these Aboriginals that they were just messing over. So they said, all right, we're going to do this this Indian Citizenship Act and give citizenship to the Aboriginal, to the Native Americans or the indigenous Americans. So they did this, and it wasn't right at first. Basically, they were taking the rights away from the Native Americans. So basically, one of the politicians halted, and they edited, or they redid the act. And basically, they said that you can become dual citizens when you were as an Indian, or if you claim Native American heritage. They said that you can have dual citizenship, because the worry was, if we become federal citizens, then we lose our rights to being indigenous. We lose our land rights and all this and that. So then that's when they went and rewrote it and said, all right, no, y'all can be dual citizens. You can be federal citizen, and you can keep whatever property that falls under your indigenous status. So this is what a lot of Aboriginal or Native Americans are falling under today, under the Indian Citizenship Act. Now, what that does, again, it makes you even though it's worded in the act that you can keep your sovereign rights, that's not what it does. As being recognized by a federal government, when this is your sovereign land, when you go into another government, when you fully have a right to your own government. You fully have a right to, I don't need y'all. We, right over here, we got our own government. And not only that, that government is bound to help you. They're legally bound to help the Aboriginal government if you wanted to come back. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. There was about 3 years ago, the government gave what they called, they had a settlement with the Native Americans. The Native Americans sued the government for $3.5 billion, or $3.3 billion, and then the government settled for $497 million, right? So I want to read y'all this really quick. Damn it. So because this tells you, this basically in this story, it tells what the government status is. The government status is as connected to the Aboriginals. So check this out. Now, when they sued the Aboriginal, when the Aboriginal and Native Americans sued the government, they fucked up, because they didn't sue enough. I mean, their work with the federal government owes Native Americans is priceless. They owe you trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions. However, them going in and suing for only $3.3 billion, and then only taking as a settlement $497 million, fucked them up. It doesn't fuck you up because, again, status is determined, is self-determination. So you can go back in and claim and say, look, I didn't get my shit. But this is what happened. So the U.S. government has agreed to pay a total of $492 million to 17 American Indian tribes for mismanaging natural resources and other tribal assets. According to an attorney who filed most of the suits, in a joint press release by the Departments of Interior and Justice, Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell said, settling these long-standing disputes reflects the Obama administration's continued commitment to reconcile and empowerment for the Indian country. The settlements mark the end of a push by the Obama administration to resolve what the U.S. says is more than 100 lawsuits totaling more than $3.3 billion brought by American Indian individuals and tribal governments against the federal government. The policy of reaching settlements on the disputes, some of which date back to more than a century, is part of a campaign promise the president made to American Indians before he took office. Few have been ignored by Washington as long as Native Americans. The first Americans, let me read that again. Few have been ignored by Washington as long as Native Americans, the first Americans. Too often, Washington has paid lip service to working with tribes, then candidate Obama said in a speech. At the Crown Nation Reservation in Montana in May, this is Obama speaking in back then, my Indian policy starts with honoring the unique government-to-government relationship and ensuring treaty responsibilities are met. Do you understand what he said? Government-to-government relationships. You guys don't understand. When they strip you of your status, they took all that shit. They took everything from you. Those treaty responsibilities include agreements dating back to the 1800s, actually 1700s, 1784 with the Iroquois treaties, which in those treaties, it states that the U.S. and the Aboriginal or the Iroquois government would be separate sovereign governments, maintain separate sovereign governments. So this is it. Those treaty responsibilities include agreements dating back to, again, the 1700s, really, that made the U.S. government trustees. Do you hear that? Let me read that again. Those treaties responsibilities include agreements dating back to the 1700s that made the U.S. government the trustee for huge swaths of tribal land. They're the trustees over your land. They don't own it. Do y'all understand this shit? They can never own it. They're not the indigenous people to the land. They're just sitting on it like, well, I guess we'll just keep making money off of it till these niggas come back. Shit, as long as you don't come back, nigga, hey, nigga, give me some more of them oil rights. Hey, give me some more of them gas rights. Hey, that's what they're doing on your land. It's called Sestuiki Trust in law. It means they're the Sestuiki Trust is you're the beneficiary of the trust, but they're the trustee, and so as the trustee, they're able to reap the benefits of the trust until you come back. It's actually called what's called Sestuiki use, because use in law means land. So what that means is a trustee holds on to the land for a beneficiary until that beneficiary comes to terms until where they're able to take the whatever's in the trust, right? However, as long as I'm trustee and until the beneficiary comes back, I can reap all the benefits of the land until you come back and ask for it. Meaning whatever land rights are on, I can farm the land, I can do anything I want to the land and use it until the beneficiary comes back. Now, again, what I make off the land actually is part of that is supposed to be for the beneficiary. So whatever they've made off of your land, you can actually come back for that money. But that's what they're doing legally. They're actually trustees of your land. Do you understand that? Let me go back again. So those treaty responsibilities include agreements dating back to the 1700s that made the U.S. government the trustee for huge swaths of tribal land. The Department of the Interior says it manages almost 56 million acres of land on behalf of tribes and handles at least 100,000 leases on that land for a wide variety of uses, including housing, timber harvest, farming, livestock grazing, oil and gas extraction. More than 250 tribes have some assets held in trust by the federal government. Did you hear that fucking shit? Did you hear that? Again, let me read it again. More than 250 tribes have some assets, more than 250 tribes have some assets held in trust by the federal government. They're holding your shit. So if you want true reparations, it's already there. You don't need no reparations. You just need to come back in your correct status and nigga, get my shit. They don't have to give it to you though if you're coming back as slaves, descendants of slaves, and all the rest of these bullshit terms that they push on you to strip your status away. And they love you coming. They love when you come to them calling yourself black. I'm a black man and this and that. Great, you're black. Great, buddy. You continue to be black. When they know black don't mean shit in the law. But you're black. I love it. I love your blackness, man. You're black. Man, I wish I could be black. I do. I fucking wish I could be black. You go ahead and be black, though. That's what they're saying to your ass. Stop fucking around. Again, you're not using this information doesn't mean is no shit, no sweat off my nose. Because I've used it. I'm not using this to validate the information. I've already used it. I've used it many years ago and been riding with it ever since. But you don't understand, you won't know until you get together and you use it. So I just wanted to let y'all peep that. And I want and one other thing, you have a duty to learn law and government, just basic law though. Like you don't got to become crazy ass lawyers and shit, Matlock and Ironside and all the rest of these motherfuckers. You don't need to do that, but you do need to learn the laws that govern your surroundings so that you're not caught off guard when that happens. I mean, it's imperative. That's what civics is. You have a duty to learn the law. That's one of the duties as a citizen. You have a duty to learn the laws that govern your surroundings so that you ain't crashing into shit and bumping shit all the fucking time. You have an easy go of the city. Because a citizen just means one who lives in the city. A person who lives outside the city was actually called a pagan. That's what the true definition of pagan is, a person who don't live in the city, a person live in the country, like a farmer. So if you're not going to be a farmer, you're not going to live in the outskirts and do your own thing in the country. If you're going to live around here, then you need to learn the rules. Here's the rule book, the laws. What you can do, what you can't do, what they can do to you, and what they can't do to you. That's the most important. What they can and they cannot do to you is the most important thing that you need to learn. So again, this whole reparations thing is distraction. It's completely distraction. I don't care how much they talking about it. Again, they're trying to push through HR 40. HR 40 is just is a bill to do research on slavery. Do you understand? They're not committing to giving you no reparations. It's a bill that they can start researching slavery. That's it. And what you think they're going to find when they start researching slavery? Oh, well, you came over here in the 1600s. Well, Caucasians actually came over here as slaves in the 1500s. They were the first motherfuckers over here. So who gets reparations as descendants of slaves first? Y'all don't want to go down that damn rabbit hole. You want to get your status back. Again, the status, the Indian in law means the aboriginal inhabitants of North America. That's the legal term of what it means. In the dictionary, in the 1800s, the definition of American was the copper-colored aboriginals of America. That was the full definition of American. The copper-colored aboriginals of America. Now, the Native Americans that they call the people that they call Native Americans today, they don't look nothing like copper-colored to me. This is copper. This is copper. It's just like a penny. So this is your shit. This is your land. Malcolm and all of them started to understand that. They started to get that information, which is why they got the pimp. At that time, they was starting to let out some information that they wasn't supposed to be letting out, and they got the takeout. They got called for Chinese takeout because they wasn't supposed to be talking about that stuff. Matter of fact, like Malcolm got killed the next day. I mean, not Malcolm, but Martin Luther King got killed the next day after he said that black man has been exiled in his own land. They took him out. Hey, ooh, hey, shut your ass up, nigga. Black man has been exiled in his own land. What? His own land? Cut that shit out. So again, do the study, get on whichever you got to get on to get your status right, man. That's the main thing. But more so than that, the immediate stuff what you need to do is just learn the basic laws that govern your surroundings. And that's why we're on this mission to create this Know Your Rights workshop. It's going to be like an interactive workshop to where you learn just basic stuff that you need to know. The main laws that they always are charging you with in order so they can just arrest you or harass you. Stuff like no seat belt and resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. These little bullshit ass laws. This is what they use in order to justify them engaging you. In order to justify reasonable suspicion. So again, you have to understand probable cause, and reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion, they need very little evidence to come up and fuck with you. So they can say a lot of things that they term under reasonable suspicion that are actually bullshit. But unless you know that, if you don't know what is allowable and what is not, then you just get fucked up. Somebody sent me a video not too long ago about this brother. He been in jail 18 years. He was in jail 18 years over somebody saying that that he had killed somebody when he wasn't anywhere in that area. But then they said that they had a witness that said he looked like the person that was there. But he had more witnesses saying that he wasn't there. But for some reason, they didn't allow his witnesses in. And he got railroaded and he was in jail. He's been in jail for 18 years on some bullshit. He was a nice dude, like in school. I mean, nothing. Messing up, chilling. Not a bad dude at all. Hadn't been in trouble with the law at all. But this dude gets railroaded on his first damn thing. This is his first offense. He gets railroaded for 18 years. He's actually, I think the full term is like 30 years. So he got like 12 more to go. So again, just because he didn't know the law, just minimal law, the stuff that he was saying, it was just minimal law of how he talked to the police. They kept talking to him and they got him to admit certain things that that wasn't right. And then they just went on with that. Because you guys don't know the law. Man, I'm serious. I sit here and I rack my brain. I smash my head because the law that you need to know that'll get you out of an ass whooping is so goddamn simple and would take so little time for you to learn. But y'all just be like, fuck this. I ain't about to learn this shit. I'd rather take my chances with this motherfucking 9mm and this dumbass racist white cop or whatever police officer it is who's trying to flex authority over the law. This is what y'all need to quit. Get in these ciphers, understand this shit. So I ain't gonna wait on y'all to do that. I ain't waiting on y'all to do that. So again, me and Officer Trey, we're working to do these Know Your Rights workshops and bring them to every town who needs them. So we're formulating the workshops now. And they're going to be interactive to where, like I said, you learn just the basic stuff what you need to know. How to talk to police officers, the tricks that police officers use, and put you in those situations, in mock situations, so that you won't get caught off guard when it actually happens in real life. Stuff like that, giving you guys, interactive tests, stuff like that. But make it fun so that it's fun for you guys to learn, and it's not just some tedious learn. Don't do this or don't do that or don't do this. No, it has to. We're gonna make it interactive and fun for you guys to learn, but. You have to do this. This has to be done. You guys, your child at 9 years old should be learning the law. because he's outside. This is when the kids started going, when they start going outside, they need to learn the law. They need to know what a police officer can do to them, what they can't do to them, because it's the kids that they railroad the most, because they know that the kids are scared because they're police officers. They see a gun and they're scared. It's up to you. It's up to you to take that fear away. No, you can do it. Knowledge. Remember, it's the lack of knowledge that creates fear. Information it helps you to conquer fear. So go out and again, basic law. If you haven't watched the Police Stop Law 101, go back and watch that with Officer Trey. It's a long video. Break it up in sections. Show your kids. But you got to watch that. In there, we cover everything damn near from A to Z on what to do at a police stop. But again, I can't help you. I can't help you at the damn stop. So that's mostly what I wanted to get at you guys today. Please, again, on this reparations thing, just remember, there's a whole lot of bullshit going on, and there's a lot of animosity about it, and and if you ain't for reparations, fuck you, and this and that. Man, don't get caught up in any of that negativity, man. Don't get caught up in any of that bullshit. Yeah, you want reparations, but you actually want what's due to you as you're in your actual status, as an inheritance. You don't want reparations. You want an inheritance, or you just want to correct your status. Because if you correct your status and you acquired land, you could place that land under something called an allodial title. This is law that you guys don't understand. So you don't actually have to have land. You don't have to go to the government and beg for them to give you your money back, beg for them to give you a check on some shit that's yours. How the hell you gonna go beg for you in your own house, somebody cooking up food in your kitchen? They going in your damn refrigerator frying up food, and you go and ask, can you have a piece? Yo, can I get a piece of that bacon that you frying up, dude, on my stove, in my pan, my bacon? Can I get a little piece? That's what y'all doing when you're asking for reparations. Instead of going and saying, "Nigga, get the fuck out of my house." Or what you do, you can go and acquire land and property, as you guys should do. Link up and start your businesses. You can acquire new land and place it under something called an allodial title, where the government, under your new status, this is only can be done under your actual Aboriginal status. But once you do that, the government can't take the land away. But this is law that you don't know about because, again, it's been hidden from you. But it's up to you to go out and do the diligence if you truly want to know it. So that's the last. Oh, I wanted to say for the Patreon, I want you guys to please sign up to the Patreon, because I'm going to start doing a police stop law class once a week. And so this is how we're going to start this workshop. Just basic law. A lot of the stuff that was in the video, excuse me, in the Officer Trey video. Just going to condense it, break it down to just the minor things that you guys need to know. What to say to a police officer, how to interact. That's going to be interactive too. So in that class, I'll be acting as a police officer. I may have Officer Trey drop into that class and do a little role playing as well. But so we're going to start that up. So if you want to sign up to Patreon, please sign up to the Patreon. That class is going to be for the $20 and up subscribers. For the $50 and up subscribers, you guys, I'm doing something. You guys are going to get one free tutor session. Okay, one free tutor session a month. That's for 1 hour. Anything, and actually anything you want to talk about. So if you sign up for $50, if you sign up for the $50 subscription, you'll get a one-on-one session talking about. We can go over anything you want about. That'll be the law. The astrology, spirituality, all in the history, dragon, anything that I've taught on my channel. If you want to talk about that, you want to go over that, we can break it down. So $50 subscribers, you guys get one session a week. The $100 subscribers, you get two sessions a month, excuse me, not a week, a month. And the $200 subscribers, and you guys also get everything that goes with that, but you get 4 1-hour tutoring sessions a month. So that's once a week. So we'll be able to break down. And if you're doing the law, this is how you'll be able to learn the law better. So I'll be there, be able to guide you, walk you through it, take you through, help you to learn the language, because it's actually better to learn the language when you have it to bounce off of someone. So again, so please go up and subscribe to that Patreon. That helps me to keep bringing this information to y'all. If not, You see, I've done videos in a minute because I gotta be out here earning some money. So, and if y'all want me to give this information, be able to help and bring this information to you, I need you guys to help me, and that Patreon actually helps me to do that. So I appreciate you, everybody who subscribed already. I thank you guys. Also, please go and rock the new shirt. So I couldn't get too vulgar with it, but Reparations, repair your nations, and that's Aboriginal Amarukans. All right. I'll be wearing this on the show tomorrow. Y'all be able to see. Y'all be able to see that. But also, so for this new month, I want you guys, because I really want you guys to start learning this law. So if you guys, I have the constitutional rights cards. So people have been buying these up. I've already took one out of 2 batches, and another batch is coming. So shout out to everybody who's gotten their constitutional rights card. Let me put this, see if y'all can see that. There it is. And you're on the road to knowing your rights. And also the people who bought the Know Your Rights manual. This joint right here, this has all the information that you need to know. Remember, I got this from a judge's resource. So I don't really think y'all guys understand what's in this book. I didn't just write this. I wrote a lot of it. The first few pages I wrote, but the resources in the back are from a judge's resource. So, okay, somebody gave me access to a judge's resource where only judges, this is traffic court judges, they're in there. They have judges' videos. I've been watching all their damn videos. Only Caucasians too. Surprise, surprise. But it's only Caucasians and judges in there talking and breaking down traffic stop law, what to do, all of that stuff, and the cases that they use and the law that they use. I put it in here for y'all. It's right here in the back. Let me see. Let me if I can go to it. Here's a couple of the cases. Y'all can see. See, the red part are law cases. These are the cases that they use against you. The actual law that they use against you. So if you know that, then you know how to thwart the law. So again, that's what this is. And also in the back, it has the bond information on how to place a lien on a police officer's bond. If you've seen the police stop video, the police stop 101 video, Officer Trey breaks that whole thing down. He talks about it. He talks about how everybody has to have that police insurance. Even they have police officers that aren't really police officers, volunteer police officers, which is crazy. I didn't even know that go out, and even then, if you're a volunteer police officer, even that person has to have a insurance bond, because if you go out and you fuck up and you kill somebody, you hurt somebody, and the city gets sued, they're fucked. So everyone has to be insured, and so that's your remedy. I'm telling you, that's your remedy. If you say file lien on police bond in front of a police officer, I promise you, watch that fool straighten up. Watch him get some act. Oh, hey, what? Huh? Hey, wait, oh, hey. But why we talking about? Why we gotta be? Hey, why we gotta be so hostile? That's the one word they don't want to hear, or the 2 words, surety bond. They damn sure don't want to hear that. So again, know your rights cards. This is the future right here. Everybody's going to have one of these, because all of us are not going to sit and learn the law. But everyone can have this when you get pulled over or you get stopped, and hand them this and know how to use this. Okay, so I want everybody to have this. All right, I really want to be able to give this to you guys for free. But for right now, again, my brother got to rent and got to eat. So what I'll do is, for everybody who orders the Great Book of Melanin Research, the hard copy, everybody who knows this. So for this next month, this is the deal I'm going to give you. You got to mention the deal when you do it too, because I may forget if you do it a couple of weeks down the line. But for everybody who buys the hard copy Know Your Rights manual, I'm going to give you the digital copy as well. So then if you have any family members you want to be able to show, you can send it to them. I'm going to give you the digital copy. I'm going to give you the Know Your Rights package for free. That's the card and the book. I'm going to give you this for free. All right. This is $70 value right here. I'm going to give you this for free, y'all. So ain't no reason for you guys to not have this. All right. So y'all going to get that for free. And I'm going to give you 3 free status classes. All right. So you get this copy, the hard copy, the digital copy, 3 status classes, and the Know Your Rights package for free if you buy the hard copy book. Sorry, this is not free. You got to buy this, but the digital copy, these, and the 3 status classes are free. All right. So again, remember, I'm going to be starting the police stop law classes, and that's going to be for Patreon people. Also, but if you want to buy in to get into those, I'll put that on the website so you can also purchase the classes as well. That's going to be starting in the next couple weeks. I'm formulating that, and I'm waiting to see everybody, man. My plan. I don't do dreams. I don't do dreams. You execute a plan. So the plan is to have these workshops in every town where melanated people need these around the country. All right, because I truly want to see 9-year-olds spouting the law to police officers or just to each other like they're little lawyers. Because if I could truly impress upon you that this is the last game for you, this is the very last game. The law is it. Learning the law puts you up here. There's no more down there. Learning the law, I'm telling you, when you know the law, the seas part for your ass. They don't want to even see you when you know the law. Catch that, speak this law. They don't want to see them in court. The police officers don't want to, nothing. So this is why I'm trying to get you to that promised land. Wade through the goddamn water, goddamn it. Shit, get your ass on. Truck your ass through that goddamn swamp and get to the promised land. Because I promise you that knowing the law, this shit right here, having this shit right here is the shit. All right? You won't know it until you know. All right? That's it for me. I'm about to sign off. If you guys have any questions, please send them to me. I want also movies. I need movies. Oh, that was the other thing. I need movies, man. Movie suggestions. Please send them. Put the movie suggestions, because I haven't done a movie symbolism one in a minute. So put the movie suggestions in the comments. Oh, this is the other thing. I need help, y'all. I almost forgot. Damn it. I need help. So I need assistance. If there are any editors, video editors out there, y'all, please hit me up. I need video editors. Because I have so much content, I have so much information, and they're just taped out. All of the stuff I have is just taped out. So if there's any video editors who want to come and help me piece out the Reelnagas and break down all of this information so I can put it out there to y'all. It's so much information I have on video that you guys haven't seen yet. Classes, just information, all kind of shit that needs to be broken down into separate videos. But the classes are so long and stuff like that. So if you guys do video editing, please hit me up. Leave your comment in the thing down below. I really, really need that. Also, lawyers, any lawyers or community organizers, because to get this done, we're going to need, this is going to be a big undertaking to implement these type of workshops in these cities, in these towns. So if you are a lawyer, it doesn't even matter what type of lawyer, you know what I'm saying? We need you versed in the law. If you're a lawyer, if you are a community organizer, please hit me up, because this really needs to happen. It's going to happen. It needs to happen, and it's going to happen, because it's a shame that it hasn't been done yet. The simple thing to getting the police off your ass, and I know y'all don't believe this, is learning the law. but you don't know that because you don't know the law. But what I do want you to, I want you to go check out a channel called Audit the Audit. All right, check out a channel called Audit the Audit, because this channel actually, it takes police stop videos, and this dude who does it is a lawyer, and so he grades the videos from like A to F, and he grades the police officers, and he grades the passenger or the citizen who's at the police stop. And so he tells you what you're doing wrong, what's done wrong, and what's done right, but he also gives you the law within that state. See, that's the most important thing. Wherever it happens, the laws are different for each state, different cities. So wherever that happens, he gives you the law, the correct law for that town. So if you're in a certain town, wherever that's happening, that's going to be very pertinent for you, very helpful for you. But go watch that channel. It's called Audit the Audit. All right, that'll help you start to understand police stops and what they can and they can't do. But in those videos, you're going to see people who do know the law, and they're going to assert it to the police, and you're going to see how the police officer acts once the law starts getting told to them. They get some act right. It's not a, you know, an all out, hey, you better do what I tell you. And when you start speaking actual law, and they know you know what they're talking, the whole game changes. Trust me. So go watch that. Go check that out. Please get at me for the assistance. Again, the video editors, any lawyers, any community organizers. We need to get these Know Your Rights workshops done. And I'm out, y'all. Again, fuck reparations, repair your nations. Just so you know, Aboriginals had over 500 nations. 500. They're saying they only have 250 nations land in trust. So you got a whole lot of land out there that's yours if you know to claim your status and reclaim it. All right, deuces, y'all. Peace.